Hello, I'm finally feeling a little better. Was under the weather today, feeling really nauseated earlier, but now I'm feeling better. I was going to talk a little bit more, as it's raining a little bit, sprinkling, about the ghost stories. I first wanted to start off by saying, and yes, there's a highway right out there. I wanted to first start out by saying that I remember an instance when I was little. I was always able to see, hear things, and um, have experiences like that. Remember one time we grew up in Topeka, Kansas. Yes, I'm a Midwestern girl, um, and I remember, in our place out there, our home, 2527, I think, 2327, Indiana Street. I can say that now that I don't live there. Just don't bother anyone who does. Um, I remember one time when I was little playing out at the edge of the yard right by the street and seeing two older women, nicely dressed, like old-fashioned style, walking up to this house. Well, later when we drove by that house, there's no way they could have been going to that house. It was torn, broken glass, the windows were all gone. You could definitely tell it was an abandoned house. So I was pretty certain nobody was going there for any kind of party or get together, and at least not in the dimension I was in, the reality I was in. Um, so, yeah. And I wanted to talk a little bit more about more of a recent thing. Recent as in like a year ago. I think it really started about a year ago, but more, not quite a year ago. More like August, September of 2020, even though it has been ongoing here and there for 4 years. But it always seems like ghosts or spirits are drawn to me. And like they wanted me to help them get to the other side. Not like, I mean, kind of like the ghost whisper thing in a way. Um, and I wouldn't always see them. Most of the time, I would just know they were there. I would hear them talking to me in my mind. And I, um, my son supposedly, I think he can see them and sense them too. And I could always tell when he was waving at somebody or smiling that something was there. But a lot of times I could tell even on my own. And I was always trying to help him get to the light. There's the light and all that. Well, especially after my fiance passed away on October 1st, it just seemed to get worse. It seemed like I didn't have much rest, and not only that, but um, and he, of course, he had nothing to do with that. As a matter of fact, he helped me a lot of times put the people to the light. But they started affecting things, like they would turn on the TV, they would turn off the TV, they would change the channels, they would all of a sudden make the volume go up really loud or down really low. And they would try to affect other appliances too. And I got to be to the point at one time I just didn't want to go home, because you never knew what was going to happen. And I know they probably just wanted to show themselves to, that they were there so that one could help them get to the light. I finally just had to put my foot down and say, I don't think I can really do this anymore. I decide to be in a reality where I'm not bothered by it. And it just started happening, Every once in a while you'll still see it, but most of the time. So, yeah. Um, but I just wanted to give a little bit more of that story. I have a lot of, I suppose, where I see people, but most of the time it's via like through visions or different things like that. One story in particular, but I'll leave that for another day. So, over and out, and have a nice Friday.